Canadian Bulldog from Wrestling Merchandise and Memories. That's merchandiseandmemories.com. And today we're counting down the top 50 WWF stars of the 1990s. In selecting the top 50 WWF stars of the 1990s, Wrestling Merchandise and Memories looked at the following criteria. How prominent was the star in the WWF between the years 1990 and 1999? Were they involved in memorable matches and angles? And are they often associated with the 1990s wrestling scene? Just before we get started, wanted to let you know that Wrestling Merchandise and Memories has more than 100 unique and conversation-starting top 50 lists on its website. Check it out at bit.ly/top 50 lists. Number 50, wrestling superstar Virgil entered the 1990s as a loyal bodyguard for the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. By 1991, he'd had enough of DiBiase's abuse and faced him at WrestleMania 7. By SummerSlam, Virgil got his revenge and captured DiBiase's $1 Million title. Number 49, oh yes! WWE Hall of Famer Paul Bearer joined the WWF in late 1990, taking over managerial duties for The Undertaker. The duo worked in tandem for most of The Undertaker's biggest moments until Bearer turned on him in 1996, paving the way for him to manage his son, Kane, and Mankind, among other wrestlers. Number 48, Ahmed Johnson debuted in the WWF in 1995, including an appearance at that year's Survivor Series event as one of the team's survivors. Johnson would also go on to defeat Goldust for the WWF Intercontinental Championship the following year, and later entered into a lengthy feud with the Nation of Domination. Number 47, while Al Snow had worked in the WWF in the middle of the decade, it was his return to the promotion in 1998 that caused headlines. Snow continued a gimmick he developed in ECW, talking to his mannequin head, leading him to success in the WWF's hardcore division. Number 46, WWE Hall of Famer the British Bulldog, no relation to yours truly, returned to the WWF in 1990 as a singles competitor, peaking with a main event win at SummerSlam 92 over his brother-in-law Bret the Hitman Hart. The Bulldog left the company later that year, returning again in 1994 as a frequent partner of both Bret and Owen Hart, as well as Lex Luger. Number 45, WWE Hall of Famer the Big Boss Man first turned babyface in 1990, leading to a match against his former partner Akeem at WrestleMania 6. Over the next few years, he feuded extensively with the Heenan family and Nails before leaving in 1993. Big Boss Man returned to the WWF in 1998 as part of Vince McMahon's corporation. Number 44, WWE Hall of Famer the 1-2-3 Kid debuted in the WWF in 1993 and quickly made headlines by defeating Razor Ramon on Monday Night Raw. Over the next several years, he would become a pioneer for the company's light heavyweight style. After leaving for 2 years, he returned to the WWF in 1998 as D-Generation X's X-Pac. Number 43, WWE Hall of Famer Jeff Jarrett, that's Jeff Jarr, E-T-T, first interacted with the WWF while in the USWA and later joined the promotion in 1993 as Double J. During the 1990s, Jarrett would hold the Intercontinental Championship 6 times, as well as the European title and the WWF Tag Team titles with Owen Hart. Number 42, Jim Cornette joined the WWF in 1993 as a spokesperson for Yokozuna, quickly becoming the WWF Champion's second manager along with Mr. Fuji. Over the next few years, Cornette managed the Heavenly Bodies, Owen Hart, the British Bulldog, and Vader, and also had a role as a heel commentator on WWF programming. Number 41, WWE Hall of Famer Ravishing Rick Rude was the first challenger for the Ultimate Warrior's WWF title reign in 1990, challenging him at that year's SummerSlam. Although Rude left the company that year, he would return in the summer of 1997 as the insurance policy for D-Generation X. Number 40, the Nasty Boys, Brian Knobbs and Jerry Saggs, entered the WWF in 1991. They quickly became WWF Tag Team Champions, defeating the Hart Foundation at WrestleMania 7, and had feuds over the next several years with the likes of the Legion of Doom, the Natural Disasters, and Money Inc. Number 39. Although the 1980s were a much bigger decade for WWE Hall of Famer Bobby the Brain Heenan, the following decade still had some memorable moments. He managed men such as Andre the Giant, Haku, Mr. Perfect, and Barbarian, and even advised Ric Flair before retiring from the ring and becoming a heel color commentator. Number 38, WWE Hall of Famer Alundra Blaze debuted in the WWF in 1993, quickly winning the WWF Women's Championship in a tournament. Blaze battled the likes of Bull Nakano, Luna Vachon, and Bertha Faye before taking her title to WCW and tossing it in the trash. Number 37, WWE Hall of Famer Jake the Snake Roberts began the 1990s as a fan favorite, feuding with the likes of Ted DiBiase, Earthquake, and Rick Martel. But within the next few years, he'd turn heel and feud with Randy Savage and The Undertaker before leaving the company. He would return to the WWF in 1996. Number 36, Goldust began in the WWF in 1990 as Dustin Rhodes with a brief storyline where he teamed with his father, Dusty Rhodes. He then returned to the company as Goldust in 1995, one of the most controversial characters in WWF/WWE history. Number 35, Ken Shamrock first appeared in the WWF as the special referee for a match between Bret Hart and Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania 13. He then transitioned to becoming a wrestler and would hold the Intercontinental and Tag Team Championships, as well as winning the King of the Ring in 1998. Number 34, Money Incorporated, WWE Hall of Famers Ted DiBiase and Irwin R. Schyster, formed in 1992 and quickly captured the WWF Tag Team Championship. Over the next couple of years, they were a top heel team in the company, feuding with Hulk Hogan and Brutus Beefcake, the Natural Disasters, and the Steiner Brothers. Number 33, WWE Hall of Famer Bob Backlund was largely dominant during the 1970s and early 1980s, but surprisingly returned to the WWF in 1992. Soon, Backlund snapped and turned heel, leading to a win over WWF World Champion Bret Hart at the 1994 Survivor Series. Number 32, WWE Hall of Famer Chyna debuted in the WWF in 1997 as the bodyguard of Hunter Hearst Helmsley and became a founding member of D-Generation X. Chyna managed to break barriers by regularly wrestling men, and by the end of the 90s became the first female Intercontinental Champion. Number 31, WWE Hall of Famer Jerry the King Lawler debuted in the WWF in 1992 following a lengthy career in Memphis. Lawler quickly became a top heel, feuding with the likes of Bret the Hitman Hart, Doink, and Jake the Snake Roberts, while also serving as the WWF's top heel commentator during the Attitude Era. Number 30, Bam Bam Bigelow returned to the WWF in 1992 and made it to the final round of that year's King of the Ring tournament. By 1994, Bigelow joined Ted DiBiase's $1 Million Corporation, leading to a rivalry at WrestleMania 11, where he would headline the show in a losing effort to NFL linebacker Lawrence Taylor. Number 29, WWE Hall of Famer Kane had WWF runs in the mid-1990s, including as Isaac Yankem DDS and the New Diesel. However, his late 1997 debut as Kane thrust him into a top spot at WrestleMania 14. In 1998, he even held the WWF World title for 24 hours. Number 28, Earthquake began the decade in a main event feud with Hulk Hogan, which included matches at 1990's SummerSlam and the Survivor Series. He also feuded with Jake the Snake Roberts before winning the WWF Tag Team titles with Typhoon. Number 27, while WWE Hall of Famer Rowdy Roddy Piper's best work was in the 80s, he accomplished quite a lot in the 90s as well. Hot Rod captured the Intercontinental title in 1992 and engaged in rivalries with Bad News Brown, Goldust, and others. Piper also briefly served as WWF president as well as being a color commentator. Number 26, although WWE Hall of Famer Triple H would certainly have bigger days ahead, his 1990s run was quite successful. He debuted as Hunter Hearst Helmsley in 1995 and was Intercontinental Champion. By 1997, he became Triple H and helped found D-Generation X, ending off the decade as WWF Champion. Number 25, Lex Luger's first exposure to WWF fans was through the World Bodybuilding Federation, which he joined in 1992 while waiting out his WCW contract. Luger debuted as a heel in 1993 and was challenging WWF champion Yokozuna by that summer. Luger would remain in the WWF until returning to WCW in 1995. Number 24, Tatanka debuted in the WWF in February 1992. He was given a huge undefeated streak that ended at the hands of Ludwig Borga in October 1993. Tatanka also turned heel in 1994, turning on Lex Luger and joining Ted DiBiase's $1 Million Corporation. Number 23, Psycho Sid debuted in the WWF in 1991 as Sid Justice, beginning as a referee at the SummerSlam main event and later challenging Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 8. Sid left the company and returned in 1995 as the bodyguard of Shawn Michaels, eventually winning the WWF World Championship twice as Psycho Sid. Number 22, A Tin Hood. WWE Hall of Famer Sergeant Slaughter returned to the WWF in 1990 as a heel, originally complaining about the fans' acceptance of Nikolai Volkov. He later became an Iraqi sympathizing heel, winning the WWF World Championship from the Ultimate Warrior and losing it to Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 7. Number 21, Owen Hart returned to the WWF in 1991 following his run as the Blue Blazer, initially as a mid-card tag team specialist. But by the end of 1993, he turned against Bret Hart, leading to a feud between the two brothers that would last nearly a year and main event SummerSlam 1994. Hart tragically passed away in a WWF ring in 1999. Number 20, WWE Hall of Famer Jim Ross joined the WWF in 1993, debuting in a toga at WrestleMania 9. After several stops and starts, JR became the company's lead announcer, calling main events for Monday Night Raw and WrestleManias during the Attitude Era, the company's biggest boom period. Number 19, what a rush! WWE Hall of Famers the Legion of Doom, Hawk and Animal, joined the WWF in 1990 and feuded with their lookalikes Demolition. The LOD soon captured the WWF Tag Team Championship and stayed with the company until 1992, returning in 1997. Number 18, WWE Hall of Famer Mr. Perfect joined the WWF in the late 1980s, but began hitting his stride in 1990 during his run as Intercontinental Champion. Over the next decade, Perfect would battle the likes of Bret Hart, Hulk Hogan, and Shawn Michaels, while also being the executive consultant to Ric Flair. Number 17, Sable made her WWF debut at WrestleMania 12, accompanying Hunter Hearst Helmsley, but quickly transitioned to managing her real-life husband, Marc Mero. She soon became more popular than her husband, leading to a match between the two. Sable also won the reinstated women's title in 1998. Number 16, oh, you didn't know? WWE Hall of Famers the New Age Outlaws, Road Dogg and Billy Gunn, were both in the WWF during the mid-90s, but it wasn't until 1997 that they formed their popular tag team. Together they held the WWF Tag Team titles 5 times and became key members of D-Generation X. Number 15, WWE Hall of Famer Razor Ramon debuted in the WWF in 1992. He soon began feuding with some of the company's top stars, including Randy Savage, Shawn Michaels, and Diesel, holding the Intercontinental Championship 4 times before departing in 1996. Number 14, WWE Hall of Famer Sunny debuted in the WWF in 1995, becoming one of the company's first divas. Over the next few years, she would manage the Body Donnas, the Smoking Guns, the Godwins, Farouk, and LOD 2000. Sunny was also the most downloaded celebrity on the internet at that time. Number 13, WWE Hall of Famer Mick Foley joined the WWF in 1996 as the Masked Mankind. After a legendary feud with The Undertaker, the company let Foley's true personality shine through, leading to separate runs as Dude Love and Cactus Jack, and of course Foley captured the WWF World title 3 times. Number 12, WWE Hall of Famer Macho Man Randy Savage was certainly one of the top WWF stars of the 1980s, but also had great success the following decade. As the Macho King, Savage feuded with the Ultimate Warrior and later came back for epic rivalries against Jake the Snake Roberts, Crush, Ric Flair, and others. Number 11. WWE Hall of Famer Ric Flair, after decades of headlining in rival promotions, finally joined the WWF in 1991. He captured the vacant world title during the 1992 Royal Rumble, and while his time in the promotion was less than 2 years during the 1990s, Nature Boy made the most of his run there. Woo! Number 10. WWE Hall of Famer Yokozuna debuted in the WWF in 1992. In less than 6 months, the 600-pound giant had won the Royal Rumble and captured the WWF World Championship at WrestleMania 9. Yokozuna held the championship for 1 year, turning back The Undertaker, Lex Luger, and other challengers. Number 9. WWE Hall of Famer Hulk Hogan was ranked by Wrestling Merchandise and Memories as the top WWF star of the 1980s, but here's how he did in the 1990s. The Hulkster captured 3 WWF World titles during that time, defeating Sergeant Slaughter, The Undertaker, and Yokozuna, and feuded with Sid Justice and Earthquake, all before leaving the company in 1994. Number 8. When did The Rock debut? It doesn't matter when The Rock debuted. Well, actually, it's important for this list. He debuted in the WWF in 1996 as Rocky Maivia, winning his debut match at the Survivor Series and quickly capturing the Intercontinental Championship twice. After a heel run with the Nation of Domination, The Rock won the first of 10 world titles in 1998, going on to headline WrestleMania 15. Number 7. Diesel, WWE Hall of Famer Kevin Nash, debuted in the WWF in 1993 as the bodyguard of Shawn Michaels. But during 1994, Diesel would go on to win the WWF World, Intercontinental, and Tag Team Championships, the first person to do so within a calendar year. He also headlined WrestleMania 11 against Shawn Michaels. Number 6. While the Vince McMahon of the 1980s was merely portrayed as an announcer, that began to change in 1997 when the curtain was pulled back and he was revealed to be Mr. McMahon, the owner of the WWF. For the remainder of the decade, he became a billionaire heel in most of the WWF's primary stories. Number 5. WWE Hall of Famer The Ultimate Warrior captured the WWF World Championship at WrestleMania 6, positioning him as the first person, at least in WWF canon, to cleanly pin Hulk Hogan. Warrior would go on to feud with Randy Savage, The Undertaker, and many others during several runs with the WWF. Number 4. WWE Hall of Famer Bret the Hitman Hart broke out as a singles star in 1991, capturing the WWF Intercontinental Championship at that year's SummerSlam. The following year, the Hitman would upset Ric Flair for the WWF Championship, paving the way for 4 more world title runs before he forcibly left the promotion in 1997. Number 3. WWE Hall of Famer Shawn Michaels was often referred to as the wrestler of the 90s. After splitting with his Rockers tag team partner Marty Jannetty, the Heartbreak Kid would capture 3 Intercontinental titles, 2 of his 5 WWF Tag Team Championships, and 3 of his 4 WWF World titles. Number 2. WWE Hall of Famer Stone Cold Steve Austin joined the WWF in 1995 as the Ringmaster. By 1996, he adopted the Stone Cold persona and captured that year's King of the Ring tournament. By late 1997, he became one of the top names in company history, headlining numerous pay-per-views and WrestleManias, and that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so. And the number 1 WWF star of the 1990s? Debuting at the 1990 Survivor Series, WWE Hall of Famer The Undertaker made a huge impression on the company. Within his first year, the Dead Man captured his first of 7 world championships, defeating Hulk Hogan. The Dead Man also began an undefeated streak that began at WrestleMania 7, something that continued all the way up until WrestleMania 30, cementing his legend in the 1990s and beyond. So, what did you think? Which picks did we miss? Which ones did we misplace? Let us know in the comment section below, and be sure to like this video and subscribe to Wrestling Merchandise and Memories.